Good morning, friends. I'm Mamta. I'm going to teach you semiconductor devices subject. In that subject, first chapter name is the semiconductor diode. In previous class, we studied about the electrical characteristics of insulator, conductor, and semiconductors. Today's class, we are going to discuss about energy level diagrams of conductors, semiconductors, and insulators. So today I'm going to teach you about energy level diagrams of conductors, semiconductors, and insulators. So in previous class we studied about classification of materials. What are those materials? The materials are classified based upon the electricity, conduction of electricity. The materials are classified based on the conduction of electricity. That materials are divided into three types. What are they? First one is the conductors, second one is the semiconductor, third one is the insulators. These are the classification of materials. So today's topic main objective is, on completion of this period you would be able to understand energy level diagrams of conductors, semiconductors, insulators. So by the end of this period you will be able to know about energy level diagrams of conductors, semiconductors, insulators. So I'm going to start this topic. This is the objective of today's topic. What is the objective? We are going to learn about the energy level diagrams of conductors, semiconductors, and insulators. So before going to start the main topic, we will see some basics. So energy bands in solids. Energy bands in solids. Mainly 4 bands exist in solids. So 1, 2, and 3, 4. See the diagram. So the range of energies possessed by electron is known as energy band. So the definition of energy band is what? The range of energies possessed by an electron is known as the energy band. So that means how much energy the electron will occupy. That is nothing but the energy band of that electron. Energy bands are separated by an energy gap known as a forbidden energy gap. So these energy bands are separated by some energy gap. That energy gap is known as the forbidden energy gap. So what is the energy band? The range of energies possessed by an electron is known as the energy band. So the range of energies possessed by an electron is known as the energy band. What is forbidden energy gap? Every energy bands are separated by an energy gap. That energy gap is known as the forbidden energy gap. See this in figure. N equal to 1, N equal to 1, N equal to 3, N equal to 4 are the energy bands. The gap between those bands, see that forbidden energy gap that will be mentioned in this diagram. So what is the energy band? The range of energies possessed by electron is known as the energy band. The energy bands are separated by an energy gap known as the forbidden energy gap. This is about energy bands in solids. Important energy bands in solids are these are the important energy bands in solids. Mainly 2 bands exist. First one is the valency band and conduction band. So what is the energy band? The range of energies possessed by valence electrons is known as the valency band. The range of energies possessed by conduction band is known as the conduction band. The gap between energy bands is known as the forbidden energy gap. We already discussed this. So the important energy bands in solids are what? Conduction band and valence band. So the range of energies possessed by valence electrons is known as the valence band. What is conduction band? The range of energies possessed by conduction electrons is known as the conduction band. So the gap between these two bands is known as the forbidden energy gap. So in solids there are two bands exist mainly. What are those bands? Conduction band, valence band. So in valence band the electrons possess some energy. That energy is known as the valence band. The range of energies possessed by conduction electrons is known as the conduction band. So what is the valence band here? The range of energies possessed by valence electrons is known as the valence band. The range of energies possessed by conduction electrons is known as the conduction band. The gap between these two bands is known as the forbidden energy gap. See this in diagram. Next, energy bands in. So next we discussed separate energy bands in three materials. What are those three materials? Conductors, insulators and semiconductors. First we will see energy bands in insulators. How the energy bands exist in insulators. So how valence band and how the conduction band exists. What is the gap between these two bands. So now we will discuss that. So in case of insulators, conduction band and valence band, see this in figure. So in case of insulators, insulator materials, valence band is full. It does not contain any free holes or electrons. Conduction band is empty. So valence band is full. Conduction band is empty here. That means there is no electrons in conduction band. And the gap between these two bands in insulators is about 6 electron volts. This is the simple energy band diagram of insulators. So here in insulators, valence band is full and conduction band is empty. So the gap between these two bands in this is very large. That will be 6 electron volts. That's why here valence electrons does not move to conduction band. So that's why there is no conduction in insulators. So this is the energy band diagram of insulators. So what is the forbidden energy gap in insulator? 6 electron volts. In insulators, valence band is full. There is no free electrons in valence band and this does not move to conduction band. So that's why there is no conduction of electricity in insulators. This is the energy band in insulators. Next is the energy bands in semiconductors. How the valence band and conduction band exist in semiconductor. Now we will see that. So here in case of semiconductors, the valence band is partially filled. At the same time, conduction band is also partially filled. There is some little energy gap around 1 electron volt in semiconductors. So these semiconductors at 0 degrees Kelvin, it acts as an insulator. So at room temperature, the semiconductor behaves like an insulator. This is the energy band in semiconductors. So how the valence band and conduction band exist in semiconductors? Valence band and conduction band both are partially filled and some energy gap between these two bands, little energy gap between these two bands, that is around 1 electron volt. So at 0 degree Kelvin, it acts as an insulator. That means at room temperature it will act like a insulator. So the insulator means at room temperature semiconductors will not conduct. So that means it does not allow the passage of electricity through these materials. So in case of semiconductors, the conduction band and valence bands are partially filled and there is some energy gap exists that will be very small, that will be equal to around 1 electron volt. So at 0 degree Kelvin it acts as an insulator. This is about energy bands in semiconductors. How the energy bands exist in semiconductors. You will observe in diagram also. See the conduction band and valence band. See the gap here. This is about energy bands in semiconductors. So in semiconductors, on application of external energy that will be equal to 1 electron volt, a covalent bond breaks and an electron crosses the gap and enters the conduction band, leaving a hole in valence band. So by applying some external energy, how much energy you have to apply? That will be equal to 1 electron volt. The covalent band breaks and electron crosses the gap and enters into the conduction band, leaving a hole in valence band. So by applying external energy, so how much energy? That will be equal to 1 electron volts. By when we apply that electron volt to the semiconductor materials, so the covalent bond in that semiconductors breaks and the electron enters into conduction band, leaving a hole in valence band. So by applying external supply to the semiconductors, there is a conduction process exists in semiconductors. Next is the energy bands in conductors. How the energy bands exist in conductors. Observe the diagram. So valence band and conduction bands are overlap each other. In case of conductors, both bands overlap each other. There is no gap between these two bands. So that's why the conduction process exists in conductors. Valence band and conduction bands are overlap each other. There is no gap between these two bands. That's why here in valence band, the electron moves from valence to conduction band. So there is a movement in electrons. That's why the conduction process exists in conductors. This is the energy band diagram of conductor. So this is the energy band in conductors. So valence and conduction bands are overlap each other. There is no energy gap in conductors. Okay, this is the energy band diagram of conductors. So these are about the energy bands of conductors, insulators and semiconductors. Next we will see the classification of semiconductors. Semiconductors can be classified as two types. First one is the intrinsic semiconductor, second one is the extrinsic semiconductors. Semiconductors are classified into two types, intrinsic and extrinsic semiconductors. Semiconductors can be classified into two types. What are the intrinsic semiconductor, extrinsic semiconductor? Extrinsic semiconductors are further classified as N-type semiconductors, P-type semiconductor. So extrinsic semiconductors are again classified into two types. What are the N-type semiconductors and P-type semiconductors? So intrinsic semiconductor energy band diagram. Now we will see the intrinsic semiconductor energy band diagram. So how the conduction band and valence band exist in intrinsic semiconductors. Intrinsic semiconductor means pure form of semiconductors. So this is the energy band diagram of intrinsic semiconductor. Valence band holes exist, in conduction band electrons exist. The Fermi level is middle of these two bands. The Fermi level exists middle of these two bands. Fermi level lies in the middle. Okay. Next is extrinsic semiconductor. When we add an impurity to pure semiconductor to increase the charge carriers, then it becomes an extrinsic semiconductor. When we add an impurity to pure semiconductor to increase the charge carriers, then it becomes an extrinsic semiconductor. When we add an impurity to pure semiconductor to increase the charge carriers, then it becomes an extrinsic semiconductor. In extrinsic semiconductor, without breaking the covalent bonds, we can increase the charge carriers. So in case of extrinsic semiconductors, without breaking the covalent bonds, we can increase the charge carriers. Now we will see the n-type semiconductor, the energy band diagram, how it will exist. So there is two bands, valence band and conduction band. The Fermi level in case of n-type semiconductor is near the conduction band. Fermi level is near the conduction band. In p-type semiconductors, what are the p-type semiconductors? When we add a trivalent impurity to pure semiconductor, we get p-type semiconductors. How the p-type semiconductor will forms? P-type semiconductor belongs to extrinsic semiconductors. Extrinsic semiconductor means what? By adding an impurity to pure semiconductor, then that semiconductor will become a extrinsic semiconductors. So that extrinsic semiconductors are classified into two types. What are they? P-type and n-type. So how the p-type will be formed? We will observe this. When we add trivalent impurity to pure semiconductor, we get p-type semiconductor. See, the trivalent group example is the gallium. So when we add trivalent impurity to the pure semiconductor, you get p-type semiconductor. Like this we are getting the p-type semiconductor. P-type semiconductor, I will see the p-type semiconductor energy band diagram. In this case, p-type semiconductor, the Fermi level is near the valence band. So how the n-type will formed? By adding pentavalent elements to the pure semiconductor, we will get the n-type semiconductors. Pentavalent group elements are arsenic. When we add that arsenic to pure silicon, we are getting the n-type semiconductors. P-type semiconductor energy diagram. This is the p-type semiconductor energy band diagram. This is near to the conduction band. In case of n-type semiconductor, Fermi level is near to the conduction band. So what we observed today's class, in this presentation we have discussion on the following topics. What are those? Energy levels in solids, energy bands in solids, valence band, conduction band, forbidden energy levels. Before going to start some quiz questions, I am going to repeat the today's topic. So first we observe what we observed first. Classification of materials, conductors, semiconductors, insulators. So main objective is today's topic, main objective is what? Energy level diagrams of conductors, insulators, semiconductors. So first, energy bands in solids. This is the energy band diagram in solids. The range of energies possessed by an electron is known as the energy band. The energy bands are separated by a gap. Energy gap is known as the forbidden energy gap. So important energy bands in solids are what? Valence band and conduction band. The range of energies possessed by valence electrons is known as the valence band. The range of energies possessed by conduction electron is known as the conduction band. The energy gap between these two bands is known as the forbidden energy gap. What is the conduction band? Range of energies possessed by a valence electron is known as the valence band. The range of energies possessed by conduction electron is known as the conduction band. The gap between the energy bands is known as the forbidden energy gap. Energy bands in insulators. How the energy bands exist in insulators, we will see now. So this is the energy band diagram of insulator. In this insulators, valence band is full, conduction band is empty. the gap between these two bands is about 6 electron volts. That is a very large gap, so that's why there is no movement of electrons from valence to conduction band. That's why in case of insulator there is no conduction process exists. That means there is no passage of electricity through these materials. Next we will observe the energy bands in semiconductors. In semiconductors, both conduction and valence bands are partially filled, and the gap between these two bands, the energy gap between these two bands is little, that is about 1 electron volt. So in case of semiconductor materials, both valence and conduction bands are partially filled, and the gap between these two bands is about 1 electron volts. At 0 degree Kelvin, these semiconductors behaves like a insulator. So at 0 degree Kelvin it acts as a insulator. This is the energy band diagram of semiconductors. In case of semiconductors, both bands, that means conduction and valency bands, are partially filled. The energy gap between these two bands is 1 electron volt. At room temperature or 0 degree Kelvin, this semiconductor materials will act like a insulators. By applying on application of an external energy that will be equal to 1 electron volts, a covalent bond breaks and electron crosses the gap and enters the conduction band, leaving a hole in valence band. So how the charge carriers movement exists in semiconductors means by applying external voltage. It is about 1 electron volt. That means the gap between the energy gap of these two bands is 1 electron volts. When we apply that amount of energy to semiconductors, the electron in valence band moves from valence band to conduction band, and in valence band the hole exists. That means the electron crosses the gap, energy gap, and enters the conduction band, leaving a hole in valence band. How the moment of charge carriers exists in semiconductors? See this: by applying some external voltage, that voltage is around 1 electron volts when we apply, then the electron in valence band crosses the gap and move through the conduction band. Next we will observe the energy bands in semiconductors. How the energy band exists in semiconductors is like this: there is gap between valence band and conduction band. That gap is very small, that will be equal to 1 electron volt only. Okay, at 0 degree Kelvin the semiconductor acts like a insulator. Next we will observe the energy bands in conductors. This is the energy band in conductors. Both conduction band and valence band are overlap each other. In case of conductors, there is no gap between these two bands, so the forbidden energy gap in conductors is 0. This is the energy band diagram of conductors. Next we will see the types of semiconductors. Semiconductors are classified into two types: intrinsic and extrinsic semiconductors. Again, extrinsic semiconductors are classified into two types. Extrinsic semiconductors are classified into two types. What are they? P-type and N-type semiconductors. Intrinsic semiconductors are the pure form of semiconductors. Extrinsic semiconductors are nothing but the when we are adding the impurities to the pure semiconductor. When we are adding some impurities to the intrinsic semiconductors, we will get the extrinsic semiconductors. Extrinsic semiconductors are again divided into two types: N-type semiconductors and P-type semiconductors. How the P-type semiconductors will form means when we add trivalent impurities to the pure form of semiconductor, we will get the P-type semiconductors. In the same way, when we add pentavalent impurities to the intrinsic semiconductor, we will get the N-type semiconductors. Intrinsic semiconductor energy band diagram. This is the energy band diagram of intrinsic semiconductor, valence and conduction band. The Fermi level in case of semiconductor intrinsic semiconductor is just lies in the middle of these two bands. Extrinsic semiconductors means what? When we add an impurity to pure semiconductor to increase the charge carriers, then it becomes an extrinsic semiconductor. In an extrinsic semiconductor, without breaking the covalent bonds, we can increase the charge carriers. So in case of extrinsic semiconductor, we are not breaking the covalent bands, and at the same time we are not breaking the covalent bands and increase the charge carriers in the extrinsic semiconductors. This is the n-type semiconductor energy band diagram. Like this, valence band and conduction band. Fermi level is just near the conduction band. In n-type semiconductors, the electrons are more when compared to holes in n-type semiconductors. In n-type semiconductor, majority carriers are electrons. Next class we will observe this, what are the majority carriers and minority carriers in n-type and p-type semiconductors, and also observe the differences between these two type of semiconductors. In case of n-type semiconductor, the energy band diagram it just lies near the conduction band. This is how the p-type semiconductor will form. This is some diagram. See that the diagram, when we add trivalent impurity to pure semiconductor, we get the p-type semiconductor. Just see how we are getting the p-type semiconductor. In the same way, when we are adding the pentavalent impurity to pure semiconductor, we are getting the n-type semiconductors. This is the energy band diagram of p-type semiconductor. The Fermi level is just near the valency band. The Fermi level is nearer to the valency band. This is the energy band diagram of p-type semiconductor. So up to now we studied about what are the energy levels in solids, energy bands in solids, valency band, conduction band, and forbidden energy levels and Fermi levels. So in this presentation we observed what are the energy band diagrams in conductors, insulators, semiconductor, and intrinsic semiconductor and extrinsic semiconductors. Extrinsic means we observe in p-type and n-type semiconductors the energy band diagram how it will exist, and we observe that in this presentation. So this is a summary. Next we are let us see some these questions in related to today's topic. First question is what? The energy gap between valency band to conduction band in conductors. Let us see some quiz questions about today's topic. What is the first question? See this energy gap between valency band to conduction band in conductors. There are 4 options are there in. First option is what? 1.1 electron volts, 15 electron volts, 0 electron volts, 10 electron volts. From these options, the correct answer is what? The gap in conductors, the energy gap in conductors. What is the correct answer from these options? 0 electron volts is the correct answer. So there is no energy gap in conductors. Second question, the energy gap between conduction band to valence band in semiconductors. Options are 1.1 electron volt, 0 electron volt, 10 electron volt, 15 electron volt. The energy gap between conduction band and valency band in semiconductors is how much? From these options, the correct answer is the 1.1 electron volt. The energy gap between conduction band to valency band in semiconductor is 1.1 electron volt. Next we will see some frequently asked questions related to today's topic. First one is the explain energy levels in solids. Second one, explain valence band and conduction band in solids. What is forbidden energy? Next question is define Fermi level. These are some frequently asked questions related to today's topic. Energy levels in solids. Explain valence band and conduction band in solids. What is the forbidden energy gap? And define Fermi level. Okay. So these are the some frequently asked questions related to today's topic. So what we observed today's class: types of solids, the types of materials. What are the types of materials? Electrical materials are classified into three types. What are they? Conductors, semiconductors, insulators. And we also observe the energy band diagrams related to insulators, conductors, semiconductors. So what is the forbidden energy gap in semiconductors is 1.1 electron volts. And what is the energy gap in conductors is there is no gap in conductors. In case of semiconductors, there is some gap, little gap between valence band and conduction. How much that is? 1.1 electron volts. In case of insulators, there is a large gap between valence band and conduction band. How much that is? It is about 6 electron volts. It is about 6 electron volts in insulators. So in case of insulators, valence band and conduction band, how it will exist? Valence band is full and conduction band is empty. So in insulator materials, conduction band is empty, valence band is full. The energy gap is more than 6 electron volts. Energy bands in semiconductors. In semiconductor, how much the forbidden energy gap is? It is around 1 electron volt. In semiconductors, the valence band and conduction band both are partially filled. The energy gap is about 1 electron volt in semiconductor. At 0 degree Kelvin, it acts as an insulator. So when we apply some external voltage to semiconductor, that energy will be equal to forbidden energy gap. That means that will be equal to 1 electron volts. When we apply that 1 electron volt to semiconductor, the covalent band breaks and an electron passes this gap and reaches to the conduction band. So the electron passes from valence band to conduction band. So in valence band, that electron will leaves the hole. So in this way, the electrons moves from valence band to conduction band. So see this in diagram. The hole exists in valence band. By applying energy, the electron in valence band moves from valence to conduction band just by leaving the hole in valence band. So this is the energy band diagram of conductors. Valence and conduction bands are overlap each other. No energy gap in conductors. That means 0 forbidden energy gap, 0 electron volt. So what are the types of semiconductors? Semiconductors are classified into two types: intrinsic and extrinsic semiconductors. Again, extrinsic semiconductors are further classified into two types: n-type semiconductor, p-type semiconductor. How the extrinsic semiconductors will forms means, here intrinsic semiconductor is nothing but the pure form of semiconductor, pure semiconductor. That's why the Fermi level is just middle in the middle, that means the middle between conduction band and valence band. So how the extrinsic semiconductor will forms means extrinsic, when we adding some impurities to the intrinsic semiconductor, that means pure semiconductors. By adding some impurities to the pure semiconductors, we will get the extrinsic semiconductor. Why we adding these impurities to the semiconductors? To increase the conductivity, to increase the charge carriers. So to increase the conductivity or to increase the charge carriers, so we are adding the impurities to the pure semiconductor. By adding these impurities to pure semiconductor, we are getting n-type semiconductors and p-type semiconductors. So to get n-type semiconductors, we are adding the pentavalent impurities to the pure semiconductors. When we are adding the pentavalent impurities to the pure semiconductor, we will get the n-type semiconductor. Here n-type pentavalent means arsenic, antimony. So that group, fifth group elements are adding to the pure semiconductors, we are getting the n-type semiconductors. In the same way, p-type semiconductors will form like we are adding the trivalent impurities to the pure semiconductors. Example, gallium. When we are adding the pure form of adding trivalent impurity to the pure semiconductor, we are getting the p-type semiconductor like this. So when we are adding the trivalent impurities to the pure semiconductor, we are getting the p-type semiconductor. In this way, these two type of extrinsic semiconductors are formed. Next we will observe the energy band diagram for intrinsic semiconductor. This is the energy band diagram of intrinsic semiconductor. Conduction band and valence band. In conduction band, holes are exist. In conduction band, electrons are exist. Fermi level is just lies in the middle of these two bands. This is the energy band diagram of intrinsic semiconductor. So here see the some points are there. Extrinsic semiconductors are formed like this. When we add an impurity to pure semiconductor to increase the charge carriers, then it becomes an extrinsic semiconductor. In extrinsic semiconductor, without breaking the covalent bonds, we can increase the charge carriers. This is the n-type semiconductor energy band diagram, valence band and conduction band. In n-type, electrons are more when compared to holes in valence band. Mainly in conduction band, electrons are exist. In valence band, holes are exist. So n-type semiconductor, minority carriers are holes, majority carriers are electrons. So we will see this in next class, what are the majority carriers and minority carriers. The Fermi level in this n-type semiconductor is just lies near the conduction band. This is how the p-type semiconductor is formed. We will observe this. Next, this is the p-type semiconductor energy band diagram. In p-type semiconductor, holes are more when compared to electrons. Why? Because in p-type semiconductor, majority carriers are holes, minority carriers are electrons. So what are the majority carriers and minority carriers, we will see in next class. So just in today's class, we observe the energy band diagrams of semiconductors. This is the energy band diagram of p-type semiconductor. The Fermi level lies near the valence band. This is a summary. So today's class we observed both energy bands of intrinsic and extrinsic semiconductors, and at the same time in case of insulators, conductors, we observe the energy band diagrams, how the forbidden energy gap exists in the insulators, conductors and semiconductors, and how the Fermi level exists in case of semiconductors. That means in pure semiconductor, intrinsic and extrinsic semiconductors, how the Fermi level exists, we observed that also in today's class. These are the quiz questions. Once again, I am going to repeat these quiz questions. What is the first question? Energy gap between valency band to conduction band in conductors. First option is 1.1 electron volts, 15 electron volts, 0 electron volt, 10 electron volts. Energy gap between valence band to conduction band in conductors. What is the correct answer? 0 electron volts. That means there is no energy gap between conduction band and valency band in conductors. The energy gap is 0 electron volts. So 0 electron volts is the correct answer. Second question is what? Energy gap between conduction band to valency band in semiconductor. Energy gap between conduction band to valency band in semiconductor. What is the first option? 1.1 electron volt, 0 electron volt, 10 electron volt, and last option is a 15 electron volts. From these four options, what is the correct answer? The energy gap between conduction band to valency band in semiconductor is how much? 1.1 electron volt. So the correct answer for this question is the 1.1 electron volts. The energy gap between conduction band to valency band in semiconductor is how much? 1.1 electron volt. So these are the some frequently asked questions about today's topic in exams. These are the in exams the questions like the question comes like this. So first question is what? Explain energy levels in solids. So how the question will ask about energy levels in solids? Explain energy levels in solids. And second question is explain valency band and conduction band in solids. So next question is what? Explain valence band and conduction band in solids. Third one is what is forbidden energy gap. So what is the forbidden energy gap? The energy gap between valency band to conduction band is known as the forbidden energy. Next question is definition of Fermi levels. These two are short questions. What is forbidden energy and define Fermi level? First two questions are explain energy levels in solids. Next question is explain valency band and conduction band in solids. They may ask like this also. Draw the energy band diagram of conductors, insulators and semiconductors, or draw the energy band diagrams of intrinsic semiconductors, draw the energy band diagram of p-type semiconductor and n-type semiconductor also. In exams they may ask like that also. Draw the energy band diagrams of insulators, conductors, semiconductors. In semiconductors they may ask like this also. Draw the energy band diagram of intrinsic semiconductor, or draw the energy band diagrams of p-type semiconductor and n-type semiconductors. These questions also they may ask in exams. So this is the today's class. Hope you will understood this topic. What is the today topic? Energy band diagrams. What is the topic name? Energy band diagrams, energy level diagrams of conductors, semiconductors and insulators. So what is the name of today's topic? Energy level diagrams of conductors and semiconductors and insulators. I hope all of you understood about these energy band diagrams related to conductors, semiconductors and insulators. Just I am changing the slides. Just observe this about today's topic. Energy bands in solids. The range of energies possessed by electron is known as the energy band. The range of energies possessed by electron is known as the energy band. Energy bands are separated by energy gap known as the forbidden energy gap. These are the important energy bands in solids. What are they? Conduction band and valence band. The range of energies possessed by valence electrons is known as the valence band. The range of energies possessed by conduction electron is known as the conduction band. The gap between the energy bands is known as the forbidden energy gap. These are the important energy bands in solids. What are they? Conduction band, valency band. The range of energies possessed by valence electrons is known as the valency band. Range of energies possessed by conduction electrons is known as the conduction band. The gap between energy bands is known as the forbidden energy gap. Energy bands in insulator. This is the energy band diagram. So see this. Valency band is full, conduction band is empty. The gap, energy gap is 6 electron volts. And this is the energy band in semiconductors. Conduction band, valency band, both are partially filled. The gap is about 1 electron volt. At 0 degree Kelvin it acts as an insulator. By applying some external energy to the semiconductor, the electron from valency band moves to conduction band. In this way the conduction process will exist in semiconductors. Energy bands in conductors. Both conduction band and valency band overlap each other, so there is no energy gap in conductors. Next, coming to types of semiconductor: intrinsic, extrinsic semiconductors. Semiconductors can be classified into two types: intrinsic semiconductor, extrinsic semiconductor. Again, extrinsic semiconductors are further classified as n-type semiconductors, p-type semiconductor. This is the energy band diagram of intrinsic semiconductor. Next, how the intrinsic semiconductor will forms like this. We are adding a impurity to pure semiconductor, we get the extrinsic semiconductors. Again, extrinsic semiconductors are divided into two types, n-type and p-type. This is the energy band diagram of n-type semiconductor. How the p-type semiconductor will forms like this. When we add trivalent impurity to pure semiconductor, we get p-type semiconductor like this. When we add a pentavalent element to the pure semiconductor, we will get the n-type semiconductor. This is the energy band diagram of p-type semiconductor. In p-type semiconductors, the energy band diagram is like this. So p-type semiconductor, there is a holes in valency band and electrons in conduction band. So there is a more number of holes in p-type semiconductor when compared to electrons. Holes exist in valency band and electrons exist in conduction band. So the Fermi level is just near the valency band in p-type semiconductor. Why? Because p-type semiconductors majority carriers are holes. That means the conduction process takes place by using holes in p-type semiconductors. The conduction process takes place in n-type semiconductors with the help of electrons only. So this is about summary. So today's topic we discussed about all these energy band diagrams in conductors, insulators, semiconductors. These are some quiz questions. The energy gap between valency band to conduction band in conductors is 0 electron volt. Next question is the energy gap between valency band to conduction band in semiconductors is about 1.1 electron volt. So these are some quiz questions related to today's topic, and next we will observe some frequently asked questions also. What is the first question? Explain energy levels in solids. Explain valency band and conduction band in solids. What is the forbidden energy? And define the formula. These are some frequently asked questions in exams. So this is for today's class. I'm going to end this session. Thank you.